Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi. Very good day everyone. In this video we are going to learn about array part 2. So actually we are combining array with method. We are going to see how we can send array as parameter in a method. So this is actually the last topic of programming 1 class, and it is combining array with a method. So before this, you have learned in the method topic that we have two types of parameters. So one is a formal parameter and another one is actual parameter. So formal parameter are the parameters that you receive in the header of your method, while actual parameter is a parameter that you send when you call a method. So similar to the variables that you have sent earlier, you can also send arrays when you call a method. So array can be accepted as formal parameter of a method. So the syntax is given here. This is an example of a method header. So as usual, you have our public static void, and after that you write your method name. So in your bracket, you have to write the array data type, which means the data type of the array, for example, double, integer or string. And then you continue with the square bracket and also what is your array name. So these three values should be inside your bracket. So for example, we have the method header here, public static void, calculate sales. This is the name of your method. So if you notice here, we have two parameters here inside the bracket. One is array, another one is ordinary variable. So here we have double square bracket R sales. So this is showing that we are receiving an array which data type is double and the array name is R sales. And besides that, we also receive an ordinary variable which is an integer data type, and the variable name is week. So here we are actually receiving two formal parameters which we place in our method header. This is the method body where you start with curly braces, open curly braces, and end with close curly braces. So when you send an array, it means it will send the whole elements that it has in the array. If the array size is 20 and it has 20 elements, so meaning you are sending the whole 20 elements to this method. So we have seen how to write formal parameters. So next one is how we can use actual parameters when we pass the array to method. So array can be passed as parameter to a method through method call. So as we have learned earlier, how do we call method? Just we need to write the method name and we just write down the parameter. But in this case, since we are sending an array, so you have to put the array name inside the bracket. So for example, if we have this statement in main, so we have double R sales with these values. So we declare and initialize R sales with double data type, and these are the values inside the array. And after that, we have another variable, integer week equals to 4. So by looking at the data we have here, as if that we are keeping 7 sales for 1 week. So these sales represent for 1 week, and the week is week 4, the 4th week of a month. So when now we already have the array and we also have the week. So now we want to call method calculate sales that we have defined in previous slide just now. If you still remember, so this is the method. So we want to call this method. So what we do is we write the method name, which is calculate sales. So inside the bracket, you write the array name. So your array name is R sales and also the week, because we are sending an array and another integer. So when we call this method, actually we are sending array and we also send week, which is integer data type. So our array is a double data type and our variable here is integer data type. So our sales just now has 7 elements. So those 7 elements will be copied and sent to the method. And about the variable, the week value is 4. So 4 will be sent to the method header. So after this, whatever execution that you have here, you have to follow the name of this array and also the name of this variable. So meaning if you want to total up the value of the array, then you have to use rsales. And if you want to refer to which week is it, so you refer to variable week. Let's see one example here. We have this class which contains of main method and also print array elements method. So what we want to do in this class is to print all elements that we have in an array. And the array is declared and initialized in the main method, and it is sent to the method print array elements. And inside this print array elements, we are going to print out the values that we have in that array. Okay, let's trace one by one. So we have our class here, public class passing array as parameter. So this is our main method. So inside the main method, we declare and initialize an array name as rnum, and the data type is integer. So these are the values. So we have 6 elements here, 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25, and 30. So we declare and initialize this array. After that, we just want to print out the number of elements in the array is what. So here, if you see, we have rnum.length. So this one will return to you rnum.length will be 6 because you have 6 elements inside this array. And then we are just printing the elements are, and then the next statement is to call the method print array elements. So if we see here, this is the method name, and inside the bracket we have rnum. So which means we are sending this array to the method print array elements. So if you notice here, our array name is rnum. So we are just using the array name when we want to call the method. So we don't have to write the square bracket here. It's just the array name. Okay, so what we are going to do is to pass this array to the method. So actually we are passing all of these elements that we have in array rnum. So which means we pass these 6 values. Okay, so whatever we pass here will be grabbed by this rnum array that we have in our method header. So let's see our method header here. We have public static void, so meaning this is a void method, and the name of this method is print array elements. And this method is only accepting one array, because if you see here, we have in a square bracket and rnum. So here we have square bracket. So this is showing that this method is accepting one array, and the array is of integer data type. And here we have rnum. So what we want to do in this method, if you see the name itself, you can guess what this method is going to do. So the name given here is print array elements. So meaning we are going to print the array elements that we have. Okay, so what we have inside the method body is the for loop. So this for loop starts from 0 and ends with the array num.length. So our array rnum.length is 6. So this loop will repeat from 0 until 5. If you see the array, the initialization is here is you have from index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the loop will be repeated from 0 until 5. So here we have our update statement. So inside our for loop, we are just going to print rnum I. So we are just going to print what is the element in rnum at index 0 until index 5. So finally, when you run this code, this will be the output. So first is the number of elements in the array is 6, since we have 6 elements inside the array. And then you are going to print the elements are, so this for loop is going to print out the elements one by one. So from 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30. So if you see here, these are the elements that you have declared earlier, declared and initialized in the array. So these are the values that we print out by using the for loop. Okay, the next example is to sum all elements in the array. Just now we just print out the elements, but in this example, we are going to sum up all of the elements that we have in the array. So here, this is an excerpt of a class. It's not complete class because I start with the method and also main method. We have sum array method and also void main method. So if we see here, we have public static integer, sum array, integer square bracket array A. So let's understand the header first. So here we have public static integer. So if we see here integer, it means this is a value returning method. And the method name is sum array, and this method is accepting one array of integer data type, and the array name is array A. And then we have our method body. So what we have in our method body is just to declare a sum variable, and then we have a for loop. So this for loop starts from 0 until array a dot length. Similar to previous example, we just want to traverse along the array and we want to sum the value. So what we have inside the for loop is just to sum up the value. So what we do is sum equals to sum plus array a index I. So we will traverse one by one and we are going to sum up the value, and finally you are going to get the sum at the end, and you are going to return the value to the caller. So since just now we have identified this is a void, this is a value returning method. So here that is why we have the return statement, and we are returning sum. So sum is an integer, so that's why in the method header it is also an integer. Okay, we are done with the method. So this is our main method part. So what we have in this main method is the first one is to declare and initialize an array. So the array name is array A, and it is initialized with 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. So in this array, we have 5 elements. And also we declare the sum. Okay, after that, we see here there is a method call. So we are calling method sum array and we are sending array A. And we also have another variable here to accept whatever the method is returning. So as we said just now, sum array is a value returning method. So when you want to call a value returning method, it is compulsory for you to have a variable that can hold whatever value returned by the method. Okay, so this is the part of where you call the method sum array and you are sending array A. So our array A is this 5 elements. So you're going to copy this array and send to the method. So after that, after you call this method array A, you're going to execute all this and you're going to get what is the sum value. So sum value will be returned to the caller. So sum will hold value of the value that is summed by the method, and then you're going to print the sum of array A is what? So your output will be the sum of array A is 30. So this is basically how you are going to send parameters of array data type. So if you see here, the first example that I've given to you was void method. The second one is the value returning method. So you can see the difference here. But about the array itself, we are following the same way. So when you want to call the method, you just write down your array name. But in the method header, you have to write the data type, square bracket, and also the array name. So that is the syntax. There will be no change about that. So you can make use of this in your project, inshallah. The same thing that you can do for searching, update, deleting the array elements. So we have learned before this how to do the search, delete, and update array elements. So perhaps you can make them into methods. Okay, one method is for searching, another method for deleting, and another method for updating. So whatever operation that you need to do, you place them in one method each. So that when you need to update, you just call method update. If you need to delete, then you just call method delete. So perhaps if you need to send the arrays, then you can send the array when you call the method. Okay, so hopefully you have got some idea how to use array with method. So inshallah, all the best for your project and also for your assignments. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi.